Never in my life did I think I would do a cricket podcast from Japan, but here we are, episode 84. And chaps, it's honestly good to see you all, Akshay and Nikhil. It feels like it's a world away that I'm living in from India. But how are you guys? And it's good to see Indians because there's plenty of Japs around me. Next, I'll start with you. All well?
All good, all good. Very happy. I will get to WTC, but very, very happy. I don't think I've been happier in terms of Test cricket. And you see this. This is a gift on Father's Day from my wife and daughter. You cannot have a more blessed life. So thankful for it.
That is honestly what I wanted to hear. And next, we'll come to how you call the WTC final, right? And you put out a little tweet on it, which we did in MNL podcast, I think last year in October. And you absolutely envisaged it to the point. Well done to that. We'll get to the WTC and we'll get to Akshay's thoughts right now because there's so much to discuss. Akshay, how are you? And also, I just quickly whizzed by women's cricket news. Bangalore hosting the final, bro. Are you happy or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a bittersweet feeling. Happy that the semi-final and final is in Bangalore. But yeah, league stage games we thought about दे सकते थे. But anyways, I mean, yeah, it is. Yeah. I guess I'm being a bit greedy. Happy that the schedule's finally out. The tournament's less than 4 months away. So there I durustai, like they say in Hindi, better late than never, like they say in English. So happy about that. Happy about the WTC final win again. It's not often that I have two such, cathartic euphoric moments in such a short span, like 12 days apart, and I've had two genuinely almost, I would say, equally fulfilling moments. You can't not root for South Africa. I might not be a fan of the team or something like that, but every one of us was rooting for them. I'm so happy that it came under these conditions with everyone really performing for them. So yeah, happy about everything that's happened over the last week.
Super, man. I mean, truly been a year for the underdog stories across sport, and that's why we all love sport in every which way possible. Look, this
How's
episode, we're going
Japan,
to
by
give
the
you
way, before we go to cricket? How's Japan? Where are you right now? I know what Osaka, Tokyo, and Kyoto. Those were the three cities you mentioned to me.
correct, all different, all poles apart. I'm in Osaka right now, which is pretty much like Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata sort of feel hot, humid, vibrant, colorful. They're just sights and smells of things that you normally wouldn't ever see in India, but soaking it all in. Kyoto is just beautiful, Akshay. I think you'll absolutely dig into that whenever you do go and make a trip because it's so clean. It is unbelievably clean, and people are so nice. And I'm not even starting about
And
the
how many
food
sushis
because
have you been gorging on? I hope a lot.
sushi, the okonomiyaki, the teriyaki, you name it, I've literally devoured it. The ramen, honest to God, it's just been the best ramen that I've ever eaten. Like sushi, in terms of all the fish that you get here, we've literally tried everything. I am a hardcore non-vegetarian, so if you're a vegetarian, I'm sorry, your ears might be bleeding right now, but it is what it is. But Japan's been so far so good, touch wood. But obviously, in the midst of my trip, a shout out to, of course, all the people who are going through mad airplanes. And I say that because literally every time I look at my phone, there's something happening, not just with the Air India, but with the British Airways as well. I think there were a couple of ones coming back from Hong Kong and then flew back. There was one from London and Chennai. So, look, first of all, condolences to the people who lost their lives on that AI 171 flight. It was absolutely dire. But let me just give you a little bit of confidence because I've been doing a lot of like research and podcasts in terms of air pilots and airplanes. It's a very rare occurrence. So next time you're thinking about flying, don't be scared. Obviously, you can be scared while driving to the airport as well, but flights are just something that obviously take your breath away because it is just unbelievable what people had to go through in that particular flight. But coming back to the good news, honestly, Japan's been good. I'm back, I think, a day before the India-England test, so I've timed it to the T. And getting a lot of adulation after the A.B. de Villiers interview. We'll tell you about it. Also, the viewers listening right now in terms of how it felt, how it all kind of turned out, and celebrations galore, exactly like what was going on in Akshay's background. Right, to give you a little context, episode 84, we are going to be locked and loaded in terms of talking about test match cricket, not just looking forward to India, England, but also looking back a little bit about that superb win from South Africa at Lords. We'll also talk about the MLC, the BCCI, and the new domestic changes to the competitions. And we'll even try to sneak in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, if you guys are watching from those two countries, respectively, apart from other things. Nix, I have to start with you, and we have to start at Lords because the sun was shining on Temba Bavuma, and it was about time, man. South Africa had done so well to get to the final. 7 straight wins. They made it 8. Where do we start, Nikhil? Where do we start?
Just the smiles of Temba and South Africa. It is so pleasing. And again, we discussed this in the last terminal that if Australia win this, fair play, another title, just their routine. Not the same story for South Africa. And people asked us as well, how will it change? Again, we'll see in the coming times. They also have to have that time in the glory, right? And again, it just tells you so much about the game that you can be at your best for years and yet not win a trophy, but it still doesn't mean that you don't deserve it or somebody else will not get it. So, uh, absolutely, I think that post-match clip that I think Ashwin Prince is singing and they are dancing to Tembabu, it is, how can you not look at it and be happy for that man? I mean, Temba has gone through a lot. All of us have had different opinions on different people at different times in life, but for him to be able to lead a South African side to a WTC title, some scripts are, this is God's plan. It is God's plan and nothing else. And just a random coincidence, just like another team that won a title a few weeks back, they also had 9 player of the matches, if I'm not wrong, in their WTC cycle. So it just tells you teamwork always wins.
Teamwork is dreamwork, man. And Nikhil, you've absolutely called it right. I would like to compare it to probably football in that final because you look at even South Africa kind of coming back from a precarious position. They almost kind of went 2-1 down, Akshay, and then turned it down 3-2 after halftime, if you actually do the football analogy. Where do we start? Because essentially, Nick summed it up over there. And there were so many post-match reactions and ICC reels that we were going through. Markram having a beer with his schoolmate right there at the boundary. Then you look at all the families who come through thick and thin. AB de Villiers himself there, Graham Smith, Sean Pollock in the commentary box. You feel for all of them who've absolutely put blood, sweat, and tears in that Proteas shirt. What pleased you the most, Akshay? I mean, watching that one, was it Markram himself? Was it Kagiso and his fifer? So many things to talk about.
Yeah, there are lots to talk about, and I don't know to what extent would it be right on my part to sort of try and shed light on. South Africa is not yet another country. There are a lot of other things that go behind the scenes. For instance, there's the quota system that a lot of people mock about. Unfortunately, Themba Bavuma was on the wrong side of certain insults. Why is this guy even in the side? Maybe he doesn't deserve to be there. The word deserve was something that was always used. Does he deserve or does he merit a spot? And this is what really pleases me, that he's proven them wrong. And how of course something he also spoke about in the post-match presentation, for a country that sees so much differences, it's results like these that go a long way in ensuring that it first of all, it instills a lot of motivation in kids from certain sections, certain communities of the country. What, irrespective of who I am, I can do this, I can win it for my nation. And that's something that Temba has done. And the song, it's like an earworm stuck in my head. It's stuck in my head. Temba Bavuma, he's from Lanka. I want to give a copyright strike, but it's amazing, genuinely amazing, because like I said, the kind of issues that players like them have to go through, it's not easy and it's not documented even. So for him to be able to overcome such odds and then do well. And again, team performance, man, right from the top. Lungi Ngidi once again was ridiculed, understandably so. A lot of people criticized the call. Second innings, this spell, I don't think he'll ever be able to bowl just as impactful a spell ever. And that's not a reflection of his bowling. It's just a reflection of how good that spell was, taking wickets off Steve Smith, Bo Webster, Pat Cummins, and then Rabada doing Rabada things, Markram chipping in, even Vian Mulder for that matter, just ensuring that he kept his head still. And these aren't easy situations, make no mistake. So very happy for them, man. Very, very, very happy for them.
No, indeed. I mean, Temba, in fact, means hope. And I don't know if you guys have seen that New Balance promo of Temba Bavuma, which was shot like a year or two ago. And it was so symbolic of how he kind of achieved what he had to achieve. And even you look at how Markram kind of got Smith out in that first innings, and it's a eternity now that I look back at it. But that was also a game changer. I feel sorry for Steve Smith and his fans, because obviously it was insult to injury almost. But from there on, honest to God, I haven't seen a better performance from South Africa, and hope it continues, because we'll discuss what lies ahead for South Africa. They have a little tricky road for the WTC cycle starting this time around. I think they play away in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and India, and I think Bangladesh before they, of course, have Australia and England at home. They don't play a home test, I think, till October 2026 it is. So interesting times ahead. Before we move on and just talk about other things South Africa and Australia related, I just want to show you some stats, some amazing stats, thanks to our social media team and our written team for putting stuff out. Just a few nuggets that we want to show you in terms of how it really kind of culminated so well for this man, Temba Bavuma. And you look at his consistency as a captain, he was hobbling, and you could see every particular single second of that match, he was putting his life on the line, literally. And Bavuma remained consistent. You look at literally his average as well since 2023. It's brilliant. It's over 55. What more do you want from that regard? We will talk about South Africa and Australia as well, but let's, of course, talk about the Proteas first, because why is this such a big win for South Africa? Is it because it's a new winner in the WTC? Is it because it's going to get life kind of leased into that country, to every domestic particular competition there, and maybe take Test cricket to greater heights? Because we keep talking about how Test cricket, we all love it and we're romantics of the game. But these kind of wins, Nikhil, is so important in the grander scheme of things for the longest format to survive.
Completely agree. And again, as we say, some of these things you cannot quantify how inspirational it is to see Temba with that mace. You cannot, there's no way to quantify that in terms of how much motivation there is, in terms of, having suffered so much, forget individually and even as a team, for a side that has always had so much. You could see in the final moments of that chase as well. There's so much nerves and everything, and all of this plays a part in terms of how the side looks at themselves in the coming games. They'll be, we've done this once, we know how to do it, and that is when the first starts to bring quite a few many of those trophies. So it will give the players the confidence. It gives the people that we need to go and watch these guys. When these guys play, we need to go and watch. It will be an atmosphere. They'll celebrate the win as well. So maybe it will stop the 2-test series. It will translate into more tests for them. It will start into crowds coming in. And what else do we want? And that is how you can spread the game, by getting more people into the game. So hopefully onwards and upwards, and looking forward to the time in South Africa at home. It is a pity that they don't have a test at home in this season, but some things you can't change.
The thing is, with South Africa, Akshay, you've always kind of grown up watching them, irrespective of the generation. Your Donald Pollock generation, to your Stain and Vernon Philander generation, to this Kagiso Rabada generation with the other Pacers and Marco Jansen in particular. I mean, is it a conveyor belt for Pacers, but now it's kind of giving inspiration to the rest of the other guys to come in and chip in, like Markram did, like Mulder, you said. So how do you think it's going to impact this nation of Bafana in cricket? Because I think about it and I'm just like, dude, you know what? Like, I generally feel South Africa could do more things in Test match cricket by the end of this decade.
Again, I mean, to be honest, you don't have to look for examples beyond cricket. Just look at 1983 and what it did to Indian cricket and to all the fans of the sport. That's what we're talking about. Like, moments like these galvanize not only fans, but also even youngsters who are looking to make a mark in the sport. It shows them that, you know what, we're right up there. We are one of the better sides. We're not just there to make up numbers. And that's why these results go beyond just the game, beyond just what's happened at Lords on the 11th or on the 14th of June, whatever the date is. It goes beyond that. And that's what matters at the end of the day, right? Like, the kind of players we're talking about, just a year and a half ago, they sent out a side captained by Neil Brand, with David Bellingham making his debut. Everyone like, okay, South Africa is done. Maybe, you know what, this is a sign of things to come. Everyone just wants to build a T20 league, and they had their reasons. They weren't wrong then, they aren't wrong now, and nothing changes at the end of the day. It's all about them backing their players, them understanding that they have the talent to succeed, irrespective of what happens. And I hope, David Bellingham is someone to definitely watch out for, and a name that I was looking forward to ahead of the final, and someone to look forward to in the foreseeable future for South Africa when it comes to this format. Again, a class apart. And I hope there are similar such players who rise up the ranks, man. I mean, that's how results like these, like I'll have to reiterate, results like these, it's not about just what's happened there. It's about what it means to all the people back home. And you saw the way the supporters were crying. You saw the way Keshav Maharaj, man, teary-eyed Maharaj, the way he spoke, it shows what it means to them. Once again, a side with so much diversity, for them to come together for just one common goal. Fantastic stuff.
The Aussies were no less because they were, of course, using the choke word and all of those things with regards to the sledging out there. I think a couple of guys even took a dig at Kagisa Rabada for his particular drug ordeal. But look, all that can be put to bed because South Africa, you have literally won our hearts and won the WTC. So well done there. Look, we haven't taken any comments, and I feel absolutely saddened by that because we are most interactive on this platform. So let's take a couple of comments right now, right from the start, and figure out who's on whose side. Temba consistent Bavuma saying Tanbir. Good to see you, Tanbir. We will talk about Bangladesh in the best the rest segment. And with so many first timers in 2025, India women's, if not when, yeah, we'll get to that for sure. WTC win is a great boost for South Africa going through a transition. And as an Aussie saying, Daniel Matthew, I now understand why Indians wanted a 3-match test series WTC final. I mean, when the WTC final was on, everyone was saying, oh, is it fair because it's just a one-off game? People are questioning even South Africa's route to the WTC final with regards to this 2-match.
Yeah, looks like Japan's
Interesting to note.
internet.
So is my internet choppy?
Yeah.
It was.
Back.
Yeah, back.
I'm back. And this will help South Africa not just be a rugby country down. I mean, they've always been Springboks and Proteas in equal measure, even though Springboks have hogged all the limelight. And yeah, I mean, essentially a lot more comments coming through. We'll get to all the Japanese questions. I know there's a lot pouring in from all you guys saying, how's Japan? How's Japan? We will come to that maybe at the end of the show. But let's move on to Australia, because I think Somesh and Nikhil were having a very interesting conversation on WhatsApp, not to, of course, spill it to the public, but it made me think, what next for Australia next? Do they stick or twist? Barbados is their next venue for Test cricket. And in 10 days' time, it comes pretty fast. Does Khwaja still be there? Is it a new lease of life for Sam Constis? The Holy Trinity, will they go on for another cycle? What's your gut feel, my friend?
नहीं gut feel तो है. Just one thing that I wanted to say. Finally, Australia felt. I tweeted this out, but I want to say it again. Finally, Australia felt how it feels to lose a crucial toss, have two guys in the middle out of score 50s, then lose your best batter to a part-timer who's randomly bowling to a great catch, and then you see the conditions change in a chase, and then you see an opener scoring 130 odd to finish the game for the opposite side. So, been there, suffered that in terms of what India had to go through, but it just tells you how the game is such a great level. Again, it's just a pattern, nothing otherwise intended, but I don't know how much Australia can look into it deeper than a one-off test. We spoke about this in the last seminar as well, that it's a one-off test, anything can happen, and anything did happen. You had Smith scoring, but head failed. Usman Khwaja, we spoke about him being Rabada, he was Rabada. Okay. Now, what do you go and how do you go about it ahead? So, I think plenty of questions for them. From what we hear from the coaching staff, it feels like Usman has the ticket till the Ashes. I'm not quite sure if I am on that boat, but I can understand where they're coming from, because they'll feel better to search for one than searching for two, which means Manas might have his ticket chopped off, but they'll have to try Sam Constas. They'll have to see whether Nathan McSweeney slots in. I don't know how they feel about Green batting at 3, because he had a shocker of a test. I mean, could not even be there enough to make an impact. So I think changes are imminent, but it's also about time. I think they've had a very good generation of players who played too much cricket together. And you can hold on to them, but the more you hold on to them, we'll end up like India, where you'll have to have a sudden transition. And I don't think Australia will want that. So very interesting times for that group.
Yeah, I mean, even the chat can let me know, because I know there are a couple of Aussie fans and Santosh Udupa saying in Windies next. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see how that goes. And West Indies have also picked a very interesting squad. So if they give Australia a run for their money, it'll be absolutely brilliant. 3-match test series, that, and we'll, of course, cover it on cricket.com. English media on attack on Osmo. Propaganda wars have started. That was inevitable with the British tabloids hitting them hard. And Mayank, if you've just joined us, we spoke about South Africa, but appreciate this comment. And smash a like, guys. We're doing this absolutely in odd hours of the evening, 8 p.m. India time, 11:30 p.m. Japanese time, but it is what it is. Santosh also saying Smith could have loaded some hundreds. I mean, we have a very interesting house that I won't give it away, but we will, of course, come to that when Akshay has his quiz. More questions to take, which you'll, of course, have in the 12th man segment. So Random has a very good question, which we will, of course, answer. And Sanjay Papyagiri, welcome to the show. Australia's transition will be interesting, especially how they replace their quicks. Speaking of their quicks, Akshay, do you see that formidable 3 being broken? Because Stark, Cummins, and Hazelwood all bring different assets to the party. They've been doing it for so long. They have a fourth man waiting in the wings, which is Scott Boland. And even if you look at their bench, Constis, Boland, Kuhneman, and the rest, they actually have very good ready-made replacements. So what do you think is going to happen in the short future for the baggy green?
Yeah, at least till the end of the cycle, I see no changes happening because they're not that old. They will definitely last at least one cycle, if not more. So I mean, Pat Cummins to tension nahi hai, wo to he's 32 ka hai, so he's still, matlab, he's got at least a couple of cycles in him. The other two probably will have to be looked after ahead of the cycle, and maybe after the upcoming cycle is when they'll have to seriously start thinking about contingency plans and succession plans and all of it. You mentioned Scott Boland. He himself is not getting younger. Amongst the younger names, Lance Morris is someone who's been spoken about for the better part of the last 3-4 years. So I would imagine Green also will be groomed in to be one of the pacers. They might even be looking at him as a Pat Cummins successor in that batter who can bowl, maybe not a bowler who can bat, but who can be a third or fourth pacer in most conditions. Sean Abott has, of course, been he's been brought in as backup, so that was an interesting choice. Not sure kitne had tak or kis had tak wo kaam mein aayenge, but I don't think this cycle will be a worry for them when it comes to bowling. It's the batting that they'd be worried about. And I was a tad bit surprised with what Andrew McDonald had to say, about Khwaja. So he mentioned that Khwaja will be playing the Ashes because he's got experience and whatnot. And he mentioned that Labuschagne, on the other hand, is someone who's got he's a great batter. He's definitely going to come good for us because he's been so phenomenal, a couple of years ago and all. So wo wapas aa jayega, which is why we want to give him some rest so that he's able to figure his game out. So he, in all likelihood, won't be featuring in the Ashes. Baki Pacers and all, I don't think anything, I'm not expecting anything to change in the foreseeable future. Nathan Lyon, that I don't know, man, because 2027, a couple of years, a year and a half to be precise, from now is when the next BGT happens in India. And Lyon, in all likelihood, might not be a part of it, which means Kuhneman comes into picture, which means they'll have to look at more spin options or corner wo unko dekhna padega. Todd Murphy, last time we saw what he did in India, interesting choice once again. So lots to look at. So I would imagine it's the spinners, maybe that is beyond line and away conditions, man. Batters for sure. Who after Steve Smith? That's a huge hole we're talking about. And how long is he going to last? We're not sure of it yet.
Greg K mentions a very interesting point there, and I want to actually talk about Khwaja and potentially even Lyon. Akshay, you just brought him up, and I'll ask Nix in just a bit. Any foreseeable retirements? Because those two players I mentioned over there, obviously a test match purist, do they get the rope till the Ashes and wait and watch what happens, or do they play another cycle, which is unthinkable right now? But how do you see it unfold? And then we'll just get to Nix and his predictions.
Right now, if I'm not wrong, both are north of 38 when it comes to their age. So if you're expecting them to last a 2-year cycle through and through, I don't know. And again, with Nathan Lyon, maybe it's still understandable because home conditions he might not be as important as the rest. So he can just play that holding role from one end. And I don't think that would be affected much. But when you travel to, say, India or Sri Lanka or Bangladesh, maybe, that's where you need attacking spinners. And Nathan Lyon has been great in that job. But I felt that the WTC final was probably signs of changing tides for them because jo bhi bolo second innings, the surface was there for him to get turn, extract something out of it. We saw the kind of purchase both him and Head got. Despite that, he went wicketless, and not sure will the Australian Cricket Board or the selectors or the think tank look too much into it, or they'll be like, what, this guy's experienced, he's played for us 14 years, he knows what it takes to be successful in Australia, so let's back him, ahead of the next WTC cycle. That could be one, chain of thought. I personally think it is important that they at least start grooming in someone, they start bringing in someone. Todd Murphy is an interesting choice, but again, the guy's a lot more flatter, quicker. He's a different kind of an off spinner. Nathan Lyon's a lot more conventional, loops it up, tries to bait batters through his flight, through his guy. That's not Todd Murphy. So if you think Todd Murphy, I think वो भी off spinner, ये भी off spinner, चलो replace कर देते हैं, I don't think it'll work out just as fine. So that's where they'll have to be smarter. There's someone like a Corey Rokochogi who's been really talked about highly within the Australian domestic circles. That's a name they can consider. I can't think of too many other off spinners, who could make it to the side directly right now.
Next, where do you stand on this? And is Constis a direct replacement for Khwaja? You mentioned Nathan McSweeney over there. How do they chop and change, or do they play the waiting game? Because Australia, I mean, you know how they operate.
Yeah, again, I think it's the key spots that are a few question marks for me. That I don't think Green looks like someone who you'd want to play at three. Probably felt like a more stopgap arrangement. Ideally, you would say Smith should be the one who bats at three, which means Green bats four, Head bats five. That's a good engine room to have. Head, Green, Carey, Webster. That's as good a deep lineup that you would want to have. But then putting Smith at three means him getting exposed to the new ball, and the opener's form is also crucial. So we spoke about Usman. I genuinely felt that maybe WTC final is when he'll probably say that time's done and I'll move on. But maybe they are not very sure of the second opener. And again, I agree with giving Manas a break because I mean, he was touted to be the next big thing, but it's never quite translated into that. So they'll have to give him time and figure because they've invested a lot in him. So I think Sam would probably partner Usman, just how it happened in the BJT. But I'm looking forward to who bats at three. Just does Josh English get back into the setup? But then if he does he bat at three? I don't know. He's never batted at that spot in domestic cricket. He's batted at six. So I think they'll have to take some long-term calls and not have too many stopgap arrangements because right from the BJT you felt, oh, Nathan McSweeney opening and then he's gone. Then Sam Constance comes in and then you can do horses for courses for 1 or 2 series, but not over a period of time. So, because in subcontinent you'll have head opening, so that is also a different battle then for them to fight. So, plenty of interesting calls to take for Australia.
Indeed, let's see how it goes through for the men from down under. And interesting times ahead. That's what the thumbnail suggests for all four parties involved. I say four because we're done talking about two, South Africa and Australia, and we can move on happily to, of course, previewing England, India for you. Because I know I'm in Japan, it doesn't feel like there's any excitement in this part of the world, but I know when I'm back in Bangalore, there's going to be all the talk with the Gill era, the Gambhir era, so on and so forth, to properly take flight. And who knows what's going to be happening then. Shout out to Samit VK, Amit Ganguly, Santosh Urapa, Keith, everyone who's watching this live. I know lots of y'all love to listen to us throughout the week, so smash a like whenever you guys are tuning in. Just to conclude this Australia conversation, Amit Ganguly saying Australia without Hazelwood won 3 out of the 3 tests. Australia lost 1 draw with Hazel. And we'll even address these kind of comments, Amit Gura, in the 12th man section. There is apparently some truth in that, at least to the sources that I've heard from. Right, time to move on and time to talk about England versus India because that is going to be one mouth-watering series. Akshay, I mean, 5 tests, England summer, long summer, new team, new subplots. What's happening, man? What is going to happen? Leeds is never a new place to start, easy place to start. But with India kind of getting their warm-ups all right, they're playing a behind the closed doors game as well against India A. Do you think it's actually shaping up well for this new look Indian team?
Well, का तो पता नहीं भाई. No, I'm very excited. Like you said, this is a new side. It's like it just opens up so many possibilities. You just don't know in which way is this headed. So that's what I love about it. And with the England side themselves, not exactly at the best of their health when it comes to certain players, and they also will be trying a few newbies. So super excited about it. And yeah, man, this English summer, it's going to be fantastic. For different reasons as well, not going to put it out loud here. Avnish would know it off air. But so excited, really excited. Some of the names, a lot of youngsters coming in. And once again, I know I sound like a broken record, but man, this is the first time we're seeing so many newbies. So yeah, super excited. Just fingers crossed, 20th of June, jaldi aa jao bhai.
Indeed. I mean, Mayank giving his prediction about KL Rahul becoming the man of the series. I think Amit Kurai said 3-2. I mean, all 5 games with the result. We would absolutely love it, whether you're a neutral or India or England fan. Before I get to Knicks, let's just put out that particular schedule of what lies ahead for Team India in England. It looks something like this. And if you guys are listening to Spotify, don't worry, I'll read it out for you. First test, 20th of June. Mark your calendars. Headingley absolutely going to be buzzing with all the noise. Despite no Kohli, no Rohit, it's India, England, and it's test match cricket. So we're going to love that. Then there's a little bit of a break. We move into Birmingham, Edgbaston, second test. which is, I think, the 2nd of July. And then the 10th of July, Lords, which is always a historic occasion for India playing there. They have a decent record in the capital. And then they go to Manchester to play the 4th test on the 23rd of July. So it's a very long tour. And it concludes at the Oval, as always, the 5th test, July 31st to 4th of August. Nix, I'll come to you. And then we can, of course, give everyone a little lowdown on the squads and what it looks like. First thoughts, bro. Honestly, I mean, India, England, it's one of those series which actually excite us. I know Australia, India is also one of those things, early morning viewing, but this one, 3:30 p.m. starts to 11:30 p.m. Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. And if you want to think, let's think Jai Mata Di only, that who knows what's to come. And if there is one series that can ever make up for losing to New Zealand 3-0 at home, it is England right now, because nobody would have seen it coming apart from stupid people like me. But if India hold their horses and everybody else in their side and they read conditions well, I think India stand a chance. It's a massive if, because they'll have to bat very well. I trust their bowling to do the job while Avnish loads up, for me at least. But yeah, again, as Akshay said, there is no meter to which I'm excited about this series, क्योंकि इतना कुछ कर सकते हैं भाई. There is so much to do. So yeah, looking forward to that while people are swapping places while it loads. I have no clue.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. We're back on. We'll get to the Baz bowlers as well, for sure, because I think we will preview England in this. It's only fair to do so. So let's get on to those squads then really quickly, because ultimately India's squad for England looks something like this, and it is going to be a test and a half for Shubman, Prince, Gill. He already has it on that MRF pad of his. And Akshay, I mean, does this give you confidence that India can eke out a win? They haven't won that in 18 years. But you know what they say, teams now who haven't won stuff in 18 years are winning there. So it could be a change of fortune.
Yeah, it definitely could. And once again, just to say the kind of names that that we see over here, very excited for a couple of them. Karun Nair making a comeback. There's a story. There's so many subplots. There's so many stories. I can already imagine a web series that can be made out of the series. कि भाई एक तरफ Karun Nair का subplot है, दूसरी तरफ KL Rahul का subplot है, तीसरी तरफ there's Rishabh Pant, there's of course Shubman Gill. Then you've got someone like a Siraj coming in. There's so many different angles that you can look at, and every player who has a thing or two to prove in this series, which is what makes it that much more exciting. Arshdeep Singh potentially making his debut over here. We've seen what Anshul Kamboj has done. We've seen what Sarfraz Khan has done during the A tour. So you never know if they also are asked to stay back and potentially be a part of the series. So yeah, man, lots to look forward to. Be it the players, be it the games themselves, the schedule itself. It adds to the mystery because, like you said, it starts off at Leeds, and then from there it takes on, it goes to Birmingham, Edgbaston, the crowd and the kind of noise they're known to make, and then it goes to the legendary Lords, from there Manchester, towards the fag end of the series and the English summer, which means the conditions would have beaten down. It would be a lot more drier than usual. So you never know, man, how it's going to play. So yeah, this is going to be a true test of skill, a proper month and a half long haul for them. So yeah, they will have to really dig in deep and, muster every bit of patience within them.
Okay, let's take some comments because, of course, they are pouring in with regards to India, England. Wishing to see both sides win a test match with single-digit runs as a margin, saying Santosh Urupa. And maybe India should ask AV to stay for the entire series to support India. And teams that he's supporting seems to be winning this year. Sarfraz making the most of his chances, very good to see. Sarfraz, I think, was at the WTC with his dad, which is also very good to see. Ryan Ahmed, if that's a new name, please subscribe immediately. Now, he goes on to say, according to sources, Bumrah and Prasad are likely to start in the first test, and they're not sure about the third pacer. Should they play Siraj or look for Arshdeep/Akash? In fact, in a couple of minutes, we'll get Nick's and Akshay's thoughts, and maybe my thoughts as well, about who should start at Headingley with regards to that. And Keith going on to say the test series will shape up to be something truly special. I'll tell you what else is something truly special. This matcha fucking ice cream, lads. I mean, honest to God, just see the greenness. And I just want to take a little dip. Oh, so good. So good. Everything is packaged so well in Japan. You guys just have to come for that. You just have to come for that. Anyway, matcha aside, what's going to happen with regards to just generally some themes that we're seeing? Because I know you guys are going to do a bear tuck on it in terms of the pitches and the conditions, but just 2 cents in that mix from you first and then Akshay. what can we expect here? Is it going to be classic English conditions where green decks, people are absolutely swinging the ball around corners? Or is it going to be little flat surfaces that we saw with that 4-day test in Trentbridge, England, Zimbabwe? Is that going to be an indication of what's going to lie ahead this summer?
Yeah, you feel so in terms of the weather. It is dry, so dry weather means hard decks means good for batting. Something for the bowling will always be there in England because you can never rule it out. Conditions are not in your hand. We saw that in Lords as well. When they were, the lights were on, clouds were there, it was doing a bit, and then the sun came out, bright sunshine, no moisture, meant proper runs. But I feel reverse swing will also play a massive role because dry hai invariably to scuff up to hoga hi. I don't know why I'm starting to get some good vibes. We could have a jelly bean incident replacement for sure. So that is the first hint for you that where I'm going to go with this. So yeah, I think it'll be a mix of everything. We'll see a few decks which has grass on it. So first two sessions the team will get out. We'll see a one good day where I feel it might look like a draw and then something stupid will happen. Not stupid though. So I've been very smart in picking my words there. So hopefully I expect runs and bowling हमेशा इंग्लैंड में रहता ही है था तो no highways for me hopefully.
How are England going to look at it from their curators, from the ECB and all of that? Do they think that if they actually play Green Mambas, it'll play into India's hands instead of doing them more harm than good? So do you think Ben Stokes will probably have a cheeky word with the curators or generally being like, you know what, mate, like give us a good deck. Give us a deck which will last 4 or 5 days and we can definitely take India in that direction.
That's actually the exciting part. Like, in all fairness, I don't think anyone can say for sure what direction is England looking at. Sure, if you want to be a body language expert and try and, assess what Ben Stokes had to say, like always, they were being overly positive. You know what, we want to play a certain brand of cricket, we want to do this, we want to do that. But like we said, if we had a nickel by every time England were being positive about something, तो भाई वो तो reinvent करते रहते तो पता नहीं. But can we expect a green mamba? Personally, I don't think so. I don't think England as a side would want something like that. They would still want to back their batters to attack the Indian bowlers, be it the likes of, Harry Brook, Ben Stokes, a bit lower down or up top. Look at Zach Crawley, look at the way Ben Duckett has been for them, and add the excitement machine that is Jacob Bethel. I'm really excited for him because on the one hand, he will be that left-hander in the middle order who could potentially play that bridge between the top and the middle, and that's what makes it so much more exciting. And we've seen. I don't think I want to say there isn't a lot of bias. I'm not excited for him in the sense that bhai mere team ke liye khelta hai. It's just the some of the shots that I've seen him play. It's not something you see often enough. That's what makes it even more fascinating. And I think he is again a more than decent player of spin, which means that will also come into picture, especially in the middle overs. In day 3, second session, जब कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, when they bring in spin, if the surface has something to offer, then how does Bethel go about it? And then Bethel with the ball too could potentially play a role. So yeah, lots to look forward to for sure.
Okay, we'll come to Bethel and boys and all the Bath bowlers for sure. But just sticking with our India squad, guys, let's just do that exercise first, which is who starts for Team India at Leeds. Of course, we are right now, still 96 hours plus from that first ball being bowled. And if you guys are listening later in the week, you guys probably would give us more updates in the comments. But Nix, let me start with you because there was a guy earlier saying, Nix, you predict the future for a living. Batao kya hoga? And if you look at these names, is it easy enough to kind of craft 11 at initial glimpse, or is it again like, oh, ye bhi hai, wo bhi hai, and we need to figure out who the hell we're going to take into that starting 11? So how do we go about it? And if you were Gigi, Moni Morkel, and the rest of the support staff, who's going to start? Who are the definite starters for Team India?
Yeah, I think so. For me, I think 8 names are auto pick for me. Again, they may not be auto pick for others, but they are for me. So I think Jaiswal and KL are the 2 names that I feel are sure shot with Gill, Rishabh Pant in that order. I think given what we've seen of Karun Nair, I think he will start because they want that experience. And then you have Dhruv Jurel, you have Jadeja, you have Jasprit Bumrah. So those are the 8 names that I feel are clearly clear that those should start. Again, batting order decides auto picks because Karun Nair bats at 3, Gill 4, Pant 5, Jurel 6, Jadeja 7. 8 is where the first question comes about. Because it's Leeds, there might be some grass. I already see grass ho sakta hai. So then Shardul might be the one who gets the nod. Fresh of good returns in the time that he's played with India as well. So Shardul at 8, Bumrah 9, Prasid 10, Siraj 11. Though that would be the lineup for me.
Yeah, I mean, I actually look at that lineup and I'm thinking it's good. I would like to add Arshdeep there because, of course, he's been
Yeah.
doing good things, but who knows how that kind of goes about it. Akshay, your man NKR, and I say your man is because you like your all rounders in Test. Now, Mokel said something really interesting this week. He said NKR has the ability to bowl that magic ball. Now, obviously, there isn't enough evidence to suggest that NKR is already a crazy Test match all rounder ripping it up, but he can be getting there and has the potential to do so. Do you see NKR as a starter at least at Leeds or somewhere in the course of the series? How do you kind of pick and choose from that squad we just saw?
The thing is, given the schedule, if NKR stands a chance, it's only at Leeds, potentially Birmingham or Lords. बाकी दो टेस्ट में मेरे को नहीं दिखता वो start करते हुए. Like if they really feel the need for a fourth or a fifth pacer. But on the flip side, you see someone like a Dhruv Jurel and Karun Iyer, both of whom have put their hands up in the India 8 or ki boss, hum hai yahan pe, we can do well over here. So that's where I still want to stand by that 11 that had both NKR and Shardul Thakur along with Jadeja at 6, 7, 8. But then something tells me that they probably want a proper batter. And that's why they might go ahead with Dhruv Jurel instead of NKR and play both Dhruv and Karun and probably not even start Sai Sudarshan. So I think, this is what I think Team India will do, and then I'll also say what I would do. So मेरे हिसाब से Team India का 11 होने वाला है KL Jaiswal, number 3 Karun, number 4 would be Shubman Gill, number 5 Pant, number 6 Jurel, number 7 Jadeja, number 8 Shardul, 9, 10, 11 would be Bumrah. Again, apparently, I don't know if I have to believe the rumors. I personally will go with Bumrah, Siraj, and Prasid Krishna. अगर Arshdeep start करता है, good for him. मतलब पता नहीं अभी. But personally, I would still go with NKR over Jurel. I think NKR himself hasn't done too badly with the bat during the 8 tour. And if you guys remember the clips that were doing the rounds during the IPL, the flagging of the IPL, where NKR had started prepping for the red ball format for the series, you could see him actually practice with the new ball. He was moving it. He was looking to move the ball. So I don't know if potentially that's what they are looking at him as, a new ball bowler maybe. Again, just thinking out loud, we don't know what are they actually going to do if they really want to. So in which case, that could also be something, a rabbit out of the hat they're trying to pluck. So let us see how it goes. But even if they play Jurel, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, interesting times. It just makes me ponder, even as a Karnataka boy, when was the last time 3 Karnataka players played a test match for India? I mean, it makes me think, yeah, Dravid Kumble were there for the longest time together, but then there was sprinklage of your Prasad, Srinath, and so on and so forth. Can we actually check that? I mean, someone can help us out in the chat in terms of the last time we had 3 or more Karnataka lads in the particular test team for India. Something to just think about. While you guys do that, I'll take some more comments. Smash a like, by the way. And Abbas Kunde, welcome to the show. And you lend your thoughts with your 11. He goes on to say, Rahul Jaiswal, Gill, Sai, Jadeja, Pant, Sundar Thakur, Bumrah, Prasid Siraj. So no Karun Nair for him. Meanwhile, Sanjay Papagiri saying, KL Jaiswal, Karun, Gill, Pant, Jurel, Jadeja, Nitish, Shardul, Bumrah, Prasid. It's almost on the similar lines of what Akshay predicted for his test. So interesting how you guys will go about it in the comments. And no one's right, no one's wrong. We're all, of course, experts at cricket. But sometimes Nix has the ability to call it right more often than not. We've known that. And if you guys know this podcast enough, you know that as well. If India win the series, saying Sanjay, I think they're the most certainly making the WTC 27 final. I mean, anything can happen. If they win in England and then everything falls flat, who knows? But I'm getting a good feeling with this new team, even though they moved on with that 3 stalwarts in Ashwin, Rohit, and Kohli. Right, I keep saying, boys, don't you think Rishabh Pant should play lower down the order at 6 or 7? I just think the best utilization of him, he could even bat with the tail brilliantly. Now, Nix, you jokingly alluded to it, saying no stupid. Big test for Rishabh Pant because yes, he has it in him. Yes, he's already proved his salt in tests, but this is almost a new sort of Rishabh Pant that we'd like to see. So early prediction for Rishabh Pant in England, 5 tests, he'll probably play all 5. What are we expecting? What are we hoping? And what are our concerns with Rishabh Pant?
At Test match, Rishabh Pant, I have no concerns. There might be that odd shot which might make us feel very angry, and we may emote very strongly about it. But I think Test match Rishabh Pant is a different personality at times, I feel, and I'll want to leave him there and very open. Entry point is something that we've thought of in the past, but I still feel 5 is fair. I would not want to push him down the order there. And what he will do, well, I already see 2 keeper batters in the top 5 run scorers for India. So I'm going to note down my own here. So Jellybean incident and 2 keeper batters for India to be in the top 5. So I'm expecting Pant to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm holding you hostage to that Jelly Bean incident because I mean, I would like to know who will be the culprit there, who will be the Michael Vaughan, who will be the Zahid Khan, who will be the Kevin Peterson from the gully just to chirp with the Indian batters. It'll be very interesting. More comments to come through, and obviously, all you guys keep your comments coming through because we will absolutely take every one of them. Introspect saying, I'm excited to see Jadel, Sai, and KR. Hope they have a good series. Each of them should play 3 to 4 matches and solidify their spots in the Test 11. Rayan Ahmed saying, what should be our expectation with Shubman Gill? Can he replicate Virat 2018 England tour with the bat? Looking forward to seeing him face Wokes and Archer. Again, very high expectations that you have of him. He did a brilliant interview with Dinesh Karthik, and I think the first question DK posed to Gill was, what's your vision and mission statement for Team India? And he was being very coy, playing his cards close to his chest, but again, Gill will have some sort of needle in his captaincy. I definitely bet on that. Craig Pagalpan saying, I feel the series will make NKR as the all-rounder. Don't feel they'll play Shardul. Just hunch Gotti backs NKR. Also a word on Gautam Gambhir. He had to fly back, of course, personal circumstances. God bless him and his family, and hope everything's better with that regard. Before we move on to England, lads, one comment to take, Rishabh Pant to be involved in 2 runouts at least. Early predictions from Santosh Udupa as well with that thought. Right, let's see who starts for India. I just generally want to see Arshdeep start. I want to see Curran start, at least play 3-4 tests, if not more. Let's talk about the Baz bowlers because they have, of course, not the best of attacks. No Anderson, no Broad, and it's probably their bowlers who are the weak link, dare I say. And this graphic will tell us more because what Ben Stokes has at his disposal is those particular aggressive-looking batters. Duckett, the Crawley's got some runs. Joe Root has just transformed his game, even though he can just do Joe Root things. Jacob Bettelaksha spoke about. Chris Wokes on the back of some good performances coming into this team. And then people like Ollie Smith, or Ollie Pope is always there. So, Akshay, you first. If you look at this England Test squad, it's picked for the first Test. What gives you confidence as a Barmy Army supporter here?
Of course, वो तो रहेगा ही. But coming to the squad itself, man, I now think this bowling attack is very inexperienced. So it is the batting that they will be banking upon. You look at someone like a Josh Young, you look at someone like a Shoaib Bashir, Bryden Cars for that matter. Not exactly names who you would, go to as your experienced campaigners. They will be badly missing the absence of, someone like a Stuart Broad, James Anderson firstly, and then you look at Gus Atkinson, a big miss, unfortunately for them. So that's where Chris Wokes could potentially play a role. I think him being a part of the A tour was also them looking at him seriously as, someone who could spearhead the attack. And then Jamie Overton could potentially play a role. Josh Dunk is going to be the differential for me. He's supposed to play that X-Factor role for them. So, wo dekhna padega, man. Like, once again, with the kind of names they have in the bowling attack, they aren't your usual suspects when it comes to wicket takers or attacking options. And that's why you just don't know. You never know if they are able to punch above their weight and come good, they can. So it is similar to India's batting, where the names are very exciting, but you don't know if they actually have it in them to come up with those performances necessary. So that's what makes it exciting. Maybe one thing going in their favor is the fact that wo ghar pe khel rahe. So they know exactly what needs to be done here to get the wickets to win games. That's not necessarily the case with some of the Indian lads. But yeah, we're all in for it.
Sam Cook's another interesting name there. Of course, Mr. Line and Length is what he's been known in the county circuit. You look at even someone like Bryden Cass. And again, those names are not the names, of course, which have been doing so well for England over the years. But next, the thing is, Ben Stokes is captain. We know how brilliant he is in terms of his tactics, his field placements, and even that attack can look a brilliant attack at the end of the series because how Stokes marshals them. So the names that they have, can they actually punch above their weight, like Akshay said? Or do you think India can go into the series saying, Anderson is not there, Broad is not there, we can show these boys where they belong?
No, I don't think India's batting will allow them to be in any stage of complacency at any point of time, and I think that is a good thing because
Mm.
they will never take it lightly, and that is how I expect it to be. But the good thing that I feel can work as a double-edged sword for England is Ben Stokes and Baz are a combination that wants results, but at times they are not. They are happy to take the punt. Now, what I genuinely hope India are able to do is call the bluff. If you see a bluff, call a bluff and find out that okay, on this pitch, on this in this given test, this is the guy who we feel. Something what Shubman Gill alluded to in that podcast with DK, that you cannot go with a preconceived notion that I will not go after Shoaib Bashir or I will not go after this guy. See on that very given day who's doing well, who's not doing well, and then pick your battles. Because in the past, I feel sometimes they have not taken on the right kind of option with the both bat and ball, and that has cost them. And England is a team that doesn't care about reputations, and they're like, Hunting, if we pick this guy, randomly they will get somebody else into the setup for the second, third test. Be open to that. Do not be caught off guard, because you will see maybe Hasid Hamid coming back and playing, and now random things can happen, and Ben Stokes will try and put pressure of you by being very too proactive, if you want to put it that way. So that's where I feel the role of Gambhir will play a massive role. That he has to be the guy who ensures that whatever theatrics that Stokes will create with his captaincy and the media and the crowds, it is his responsibility to ensure that Gill remains calm and his stead. This is how we are going to play. Respond to them, but back your strengths and don't try and do what they are doing. So I think it will be very important for India to just identify where, because that's what England do at times. Even with the short balls, that they don't have too many people who can actually bowl short. It is Ben Stokes half the time who's doing that job, that I will bowl into the deck and then I'll get you out. Now they have Braden Cast with it. So identify those plans and be very smart in countering them, because it is a side lacking experience. You have to make it count.
That's well put. And even the workhorse aspect from England, whether it's Cast or Stokes himself or Bashir just holds one end up, it just makes you think with that Duke's ball. I don't know if Nix is actually holding the Duke's ball or the SG ball, but Nix, come back to the Duke's ball. Do you think that's going to be a factor for the Indian batters? Because yes, they've got some games in under their belt, but relatively the experience in that squad, they haven't really faced the Duke's ball. KL has done it. Curran has done it. I think Gill's done it a little bit with regards to whatever he's played. And is that going to be... Pant's done it as well. It just makes you think the ball, how much of it's going to make a difference with this new Indian team?
It will make a difference, no doubt about it. But it's where the thing comes about KL Rahul doing a Dinesh Karthik, where what DK did in 2007. That's what I'm expecting him to do. And if he can do that, I think he'll put the entire batting lineup at a lot more ease. And here I'm not looking at only runs. I'm looking at him batting time, because the Dukes that we spoke about, sometimes we've already seen in the WTC as well, periods change and you have to adapt to it very, very quickly. Sometimes there's a lot happening, sometimes there's nothing happening, and there could be reverse swing as well. So I feel that's where the experience of KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, it will matter, and it is good that they are at different spots in the batting order. And even Jadeja could be crucial for all we know, because they've played here in the past. They'll be the ones who will have to shepherd the rest of the batters that, this is what we can expect in this time. Pronounce seam, lacquer has come off, it will do a bit more. This is when that experience can come. Even somebody like a Karun Nair can do well. So I think India are better placed that way, but of course it will be something that will test them. And which is why, again, pick your right battles. Pick the right people to go after in terms of your run options, and read the conditions well.
And lots of comments coming through, of course, in this Monday Night Live. Smash a like if you guys are loving our conversation. More to come from Nix, Akshay, and me in the next half an hour or so for sure. Click Pagalpan, being cheeky, say how many years since we've had a captain without a beard? This makes you think, lads. Who's the last man?
2007.
2007. Wow.
Good omen. It's a good omen.
It's I'll
be honest. I have never had any gut feel about this series till the time we started this video. So it has come randomly. So we never know how it goes. Let's see.
And that cute little gesture and gift given by your family to wear the India Test jersey just on the
So
20th of
I'll
June
just
would be
take,
fun.
yeah. I'll just take 30 seconds of you. I mean, they gave me this jersey because this is the first time they both saw me cry after a cricket match. The moment Kyle Warren hit those runs, I was crying like a baby. They were like, "You have seen so much cricket. You see cricket all day. What is in this that is making you cry?" But they're like, I was just very happy. And they're like, "नहीं, नहीं, you deserve some good gift. ठीक है? Get this on और क्या?"
No, I mean, props to you, man. You've been calling South Africa to win a lot of stuff, and the way they won this one, I think this is the tops the list because if you ask them, would you like to win the 2023 ODI World Cup? Sure, yes, but I think because it's Test match cricket, it's the Holy Grail, beating Australia at the home of Lords, it couldn't have been better. And if you guys wanted to know our thoughts about the WTC, and if you guys have just joined us, we of course spoke about it at the start of the show. Rewind or just plug it in whenever. Coming back India, England, and closing out this chat with some comments and stats. Introspect saying, Akshay, Headingley is normally tough for Asian sides, but it is Birmingham, which is like a fortress for the English side of sorts. England normally lose most of the match at Lords and Oval. It's interesting how they've shaped the schedule, like you spoke about it. Do you think that those two venues kind of give England advantage straight away, Akshay? Headingley and Birmingham?
I mean, it's similar to what Australia did, right? Perth, Brisbane, Adelaide, and then eventually it was Melbourne and Sydney. So teams are getting smarter. Understand again, there's nothing wrong. They're trying to maximize their advantage. And that's what makes it even more fascinating. The challenge that it is, because now you've got to adjust, you've got to get acclimatized to conditions a lot more sooner. You don't have even time on your hands. So yeah, I'm excited for it, man. Like I think it's a feature, not a bug. This is you want to have a proper battle on your hands because देखो यार अगर मैनचेस्टर पहले होता और वो जीत जाते you never know the English media would have come up with a way to even spin that around and say they actually had it easy, the schedule was in their favor and which is why it helped them out. Now you don't need such excuses going your way, you just need to play good cricket and win the bloody damn game, simple as that.
Interesting. Samit PK saying, I want to see an Indian batter score double century. I would absolutely love it if that happens. Whether it's Sai, Karun, KL, Pant, whoever does it, even Jadeja, if he gets it going in England, which he absolutely loves as a batter, could be interesting. Apex saying, Bas ye batao, he high scoring series hoga, ya low scoring test series according to y'all. I would pander to the former. I think there will be runs galore more than just 180 playing 200, and knowing how the Baz bowlers operate, it's a highway or their way. So Nick, a quick one from you. High scoring series, are you tilting towards that way?
Yeah, I think we could see a few, but I'm only thinking 400s. I don't think we'll see more than that. 400 is थोड़ा high लग रहा मेरे को because see the problem and the best part of Test cricket is conditions. We have zero clue how the pitches are going to be and how they are going to play out. So low scoring games would be better for India. That's how I feel. High scoring games might bring more records, but I don't know how much of it will translate into good wins. So let's see.
Yeah, and let's see this point as well that Sanjay mentions in the comment.
Of course.
Gambhir versus the English media, that's going to be something which is just going to be a mind games with regards to that. And sports fans saying, hi guys, how are you guys going to cover the series? Post-day lives or only post-match? We're yet to make our plans. I mean, I don't know if we've already made our plans, but we'll figure it out and we'll try to keep you occupied. We're all in holiday mood. We've all given ourselves some time off. Akshay is also going to be in his travel, so we'll try to get you mixture of stuff like we always do on cricket.com. Jadeja will be crucial, saying Apex, bowling a massive letdown for England, saying Chetan, and Introspect saying Cast, Wokes, Tongue, and Bashir would be the bowling attack, and maybe Overton for Tongue, he goes on to say. Sanju saying, can you predict the England playing 11? We probably can do it, Sanju, for you really quickly over here, because even if you look at the squad that we put out just a while ago, there's certain starters. So Duckett and Crawley will probably open. Then you'll have, I'm guessing, Pope / Bethel Akshay at one down?
I would probably have Bethel at number 3 and then go to Pope at
of
number
course.
4.
Of course.
I mean, we can't put it past you. But then
How
root
is
at
this
5 then.
Huh?
Root at 5 then.
Bethel at number 3. They played Bethel at number 3
last game. Pope has scored a century. I don't know how easy it's going to be. I mean, that's the only logic.
Is there a chance that Pope and Bethel could play?
Yeah,
I think
vital. Huh.
वो बेहतर
And then
दोनों
Root
कैसे खेले?
E5.
Oh, I
That I don't
forgot.
think is
Shit, I forgot. No. Just abhi मेरे को slowly chamak raha है. Sorry. I really thought, because in my head I thought their batting lineup, their top 7 also structures similarly like India. For some reason I thought they have, okay, my bad. No, they can't. Then
Okay, so Pope, let's give Pope the benefit of the doubt because Nick said like he's got 100 and all of that. So Nick, talk to me about the rest of the thing. So Duckett, Crawley, Pope, and then Root, and then from there on, you name the rest 7 lads.
I think Brooks Stokes straight away make that option. Smith is back. They'll want to play him. So
Okay.
he is there. And maybe that is the spot where they can play around if they want to. Maybe if they want to play, but then you have to figure out their keeping part. So again, they'll have to be very sure how do they want to go about it. And uske baad you have Chris Wokes who will bat at 8, if I'm not wrong. And Shoaib Bashir is there. So actually the 4 guys, this is 14-man squad. So the 3 guys missing for me might be Tung, Bethel, and maybe Jamie Overton.
Okay, interesting. Absolutely interesting. Non-bias from Nikhil over there, even though Overton is a CSK boy. But no, Akshay, I'm with you, bro. Even I want to see Bethel play. 100% want to see Bethel play.
अरे अपने साथ छोड़ के मेरे को और नहीं भाई, but that's on me. I'll take that in because I really thought both would play. It's only hitting me now. When he played in New Zealand, I'd forgotten that he was playing instead of and not along with. That's on.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah.
Fair. Sanju saying waiting for Greenston Lobo astrological prediction for this series. And Archit Ariman, welcome to the show. My strong hunch is our team will surprise everyone, will be better than BGT. And lastly, Introspect saying haven't seen a lot of tests in England. I can say the first 2 tests at Headingley in Birmingham will be toughies. Lords and Oval suits Asian sides a bit. Manchester, if it doesn't rain, is good to bat. Right, everyone's poured their thoughts in, and especially like if you guys think India England's going to be an absolutely mouth-watering series, I think it is definitely going to be one. Before we move on to the other things we want to talk about, MNL, some great stats coming through on cricket.com as ever. It's available on the website. Download the app. And India, can they break the 18-year jinx? We asked this question at the start of this particular conversation. Only time will tell what will happen in 2025. Last time around, honestly, if Virat did complete that series as captain in Manchester before COVID hit our world, I think India could have probably got a 2-1 win, maybe 3-1 win. They wouldn't have definitely lost that, I feel. But look, again, history to be written. There is more things you can see like this on cricket.com with all the individual stats coming through, the fascinating subplots, Gill, whether he'll step up outside Asia. The numbers don't look pretty so far, but he has a new shiny bat, and he, of course, has the big responsibility of captaining this test team. And finally, there is other things to show you with regards to Virat and Rohit. Will they be missed? Because if you look at the average both of them have, it's not too bad. I mean, Virat, of course, you subtract that 2014 tour and it's world-like, but world-class-like, I should say. But even then, he's got some runs under the kitty. Right, time to move on in this MNL and focus on the best of the rest because there's plenty to talk about there with regards to cricket in California, what's going to happen with regards to Ireland, West Indies, and even Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. So what are we waiting for? Best of the rest today. Right, we have to wrap up proceedings on MNL very shortly because I know my mum and sister absolutely annoying me right now, saying, get down with the show, we have an early flight to catch, which we will, 20 minutes and we'll be there for sure. But guys, really speeding on to this section then. Akshay, where do we start? Should we start with the MLC? Have you watched any of it? Some good names on display. Texas Super Kings winning well. Seattle Orcas, I don't think have got any good start to the tournament. Well, so next you start us with the MLC and the wrap up there. What have you liked? What have you loathed?
Live loathed. Rachin Ravindra scoring runs for fun, opening the batting. Batting at over crazy strike rate, but well done to him. No further comments. I will wait for the entire series to get over and then catch up live ball to ball. Today, Xavier Bartlett scored a 20 ball 50 to win a game. Xavier Bartlett. That is exactly how I was. Xavier Bartlett smashing Trent Bolt for fun. It was ekdam 50-20 ball mein. And somewhere Ponting would be happy, but yeah, not for Punjab. So that is the thing that caught my Noor Ahmed lovely bowling against LAKR. Even in other franchise in other continent, LAKR is struggling against spin. Pata nahi kab theek hoga. So that was my MLC roundup.
Yeah, you mentioned Trent Bolt over there. That is run out. I think I saw it on Akash's story and Shub's story. What was that? Was that the funniest run out you've seen in your life, Akshay? Yes, no, not now, and then run out.
I mean, I've not even seen such runouts happen when I play ऐसा गली में office cricket में भी नहीं देखा है भाई. Like, what is that? How? Like, I'm sorry, it's just not done, man. Like, I do not know what to make of it. And the surface, by the way, I mean, not the surface, the ground, yeah, the new ground that they've come up with, the Colosseum, that's what they're calling it. I actually enjoyed it, to be honest. For some reason, people kept saying that it's a very small ground. नहीं भाई, अच्छा खासा बड़ा, it's decently sized 70, 75-meter boundaries. It wasn't small by any stretch of imagination. And this was apparently the surface that was originally touted to host the India-Pakistan fixture from last year's World Cup. भाई अच्छा सर्विस था, देखने के लिए भी अच्छा था, फैंस के लिए भी अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था. खामखा लॉन्ग आइलैंड को न्यूयॉर्क बना के सब किया था. बट एनी व्हिच वेज, what caught my eye, Mumbai Indians choking. I never thought I would be using these three words simultaneously. 2 games, 2 chokes. I don't know what to make of it. Firstly, of course, versus TSK, which was the
Darren Mitchell.
See, भाई Darren Mitchell last over डाल रहा है वो. If that wasn't enough, him successfully defending. Bizarre, just bizarre, absolutely bizarre. Xavier Bartlett and Finn Allen, man, what thrashing, unbelievable thrashing. 151 of 50 balls, fantastic knock, and good for him. Baki to his side won that game. His side won today's game as well, thanks to Xavier Bartlett. 145 for 7. You still got 45 runs to defend, and MI botch it up. I'm just happy I bought in the Trent Bolt is done wala stock early on, and now I'm happy it's slowly catching up. But yeah, I'm sorry, but the bowling effort has been poor. And एक तो Trent Bolt के अलावा they don't have anyone. Kenjike, all I've seen is he's wearing that brace on his left hand. On his right hand. He's a left arm spinner. But why is Kenjike not playing? God knows. So very surprised. Then I'm happy Naveen Ulak is doing well. I hope he gets an IPL gig. भाई मतलब अच्छा ball किया आज. And बाकी तो चल रहा है MLC.
Yeah, MLC, the thing is, as many Indian franchisees are there, owners, I should say, the viewing is just ridiculous for the time zones. But God bless all of y'all who have been able to sip some coffee and then check it out. And Nicholas Pooran and Heinrich Klaassen, who recently retired from their respective international gigs, important for them to really shine bright as well and see how it goes. AJ Ragnarok contributing to this MLC chat saying, "Am I always shit and irritating to watch? And yet somehow collected 3 trophies in each of these tournaments." How did you guys miss JFM? I think Mutilax was alluding to you, Nick, saying, what happened with JFM? All or nothing?
I mean, he scored runs too. I mean, that's the trend. No, everybody who did not do well in IPL is going out there and now scoring runs. Rachin Ravindra did, JFM did, Rahul Tripathi did as well in the domestic league. So it's been that kind of season, which is why I said no comments on Rachin. I'll wait for the season to end. So I didn't miss out, didn't save us.
Okay, even Abbas Kunde not holding back, at least in terms of his last word of his comment, which I can't read out. Naveen and Ehsan Adil are good, but because of Bolt, I mean, unbelievable. Pollard doing well. Am I still losing?
Sorry, but Pollard doing well. That run out is not Pollard doing well. But we'll give him a pass.
Yeah, but MLC, of course, I think some interesting articles our boys have been putting out. If you guys are interested in that written section of things, then go check it out. From the MLC, let's move on and talk about Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. Now, the test match or the test series starts tomorrow. And one particular player interestingly caught my eye, an ambidextrous lad. Apparently, he's going to be into the thick of things. Akshay, do you have more on this story?
I absolutely don't. The only ambidextrous spinner I know is Kamingo Mendes, and I'll just say कि हाँ भाई. For all you know, I would have just gone on talking about Kamingo Mendes as well, but क्या है भाई?
There is a guy.
Therindu Ratnayake. Yeah. So I don't know if they'll play him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll play 2 of them in one game. It would be crazy to have 2 ambidextrous spinners in one game, and there is a chance. We don't know. It's in goal. They'll play 2 pacers in Asita and one more in Rajita if they want to. Yeah, whoever else. And they already have down of Gaul, Prabhat Jasine play. If they want to really test Bangladesh, maybe they could go on and play Karindu Ratnanaike there. But looking forward to see if he gets a chance. Yes.
Yeah, there's other things which are going to happen in this series, which will be interesting to just take note of.
That is
There is, of course, Angelo Matthews, and I think he's going to be retiring in Colombo, the second test next, or in Gaul itself.
first test. No, if I'm not wrong, it was the first test that is going to retire after.
Gaul may retire.
Yeah,
I thought.
Confirmed.
Okay.
Confirmed.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I think there'll be a very emotional goodbye for Angelo Matthews. He's done very well for Sri Lanka in terms of being just a test cricket servant for them. There is, of course, concerns about Bangladesh and them sweating over the fitness of Mehdi Hassan. I think he's super important, especially in those decks over there. But all in all, I think the captain, Dhananjaya De Silva, is looking towards this WTC cycle to start off something new for Sri Lanka cricket. Let's see how they go about it, and it'll be something interesting to see. Ireland, West Indies, I don't know if there's anything happening in that series because every time I look
One
at what's
match.
happening,
One T20 हुआ मस्त मारा
One
सबने
T20.
मारा 256
Very well.
days
Must.
and
that's
all
pretty
I
crazy.
the no what's even more crazy is the Ireland 11 had 3 sets of brothers, 6 players, 3 sets of brothers, and I'm like bhai
But I-
kya ye matlab what is this family game going on there?
But still,
So
though,
what
in
it
that
had-
256, one guy went for 16 runs in just 4.
Yeah man, that was so
Can you believe?
crazy. Humphreys, right?
Yeah, मैथ्यू हम्फ्रीज इन
Yeah.
मतलब समझ नहीं रहा है इस साल में क्रिकेट में क्या हो रहा है बट दिस मेक्स यू वंडर.
So one thing, just for the uninitiated, who are the 3 Irish brothers? Barry McCarthy, Liam McCarthy, and
There was Ross Adair, Mark Adair,
Tector
and then
was
there was Harry Tector, Tim Tector.
oh, wild! Oh, like three brothers that way.
3
Like
sets of
wow,
brothers. Yeah.
wow, that's absolutely insane. Now that I look at the scorecard, one man catches my eye from the West Indies. Casey Carty's been having an absolute summer. Oh, unbelievable, right? Next, I mean, is he the next big thing in white ball cricket for West Indies in particular?
Yeah, Touchwood without putting any mockers on him. This guy is able to crack ODIs, so for sure it feels that he belongs completely. Hopefully more of him. The West Indies play a lot of cricket in the coming times, so he'll get his chances. I'll just hope he can continue to do well.
Okay, let's see how that goes. I think the series concluded. So West Indies, all eyes on them next when they take on Australia at home. Other news, which was the newsiest news with regards to the BCCI announcing some changes to India's domestic structure. They have made a couple of things. Let me just tell you in brief what it really entails, because some of these changes include the Dulip Trophy, apparently, reverting to zonal teams. Remember, the last time it was 6. Now they're going back to the original 4. There is, of course, some changes with regards to SMAT now having a Super League stage instead of the traditional knockout. So all you SMAT lovers, all you Dulip Trophy lovers, there is, of course, changes in those tournaments. And even, I think there are a few little...
Yeah, same are the changes with women's cricket as well. So the senior women's T20 trophy will now see a Super League, round being held before the knockout games, and the Challenger Trophy will now be a zonal trophy, which is how it should have been in the first place. Yeah, India A, B, C, D, C is sub karke matlab hum sabka, like last year, if you guys remember the Dulip Trophy, India A that was announced and the India A that actually played, God knows, तो B से C जा रहा है, D से A आ रहा है, पता नहीं क्या चल रहा था.
Yeah, and Dulip Trophy, I think, is in August, but they put out the venues. I mean, not the venues, I'm saying the dates for those respective tournaments. Well, be interesting to note how that goes forward. What else is there? You guys can check it out in this little graphic because there's some fascinating cricket in store, especially England, India catching your eye. But there is, of course, some women's cricket happening in the Caribbean with South Africa visiting over there and Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, like I alluded to minutes ago. Right, time to move on from MNL, from one segment to the other, to something that you guys can win. And often it is Akshay's quiz in Howzzaat. Right, normally I disappear in Howzzaat, but I'm going to stay put because I can't. I literally can't, even if I wanted to. So, Akshay, go on to your quiz. And I know you have a real belter of a question this time around. But first, last week is always first.
Yep, last week is always first. And there we go. We had a bunch of names and we wanted you guys to just connect this list. And this was an exhaustive list, like the question said. Sachin, Virat, Harshal, Shubman Gill, and Sky. What connected these 5 players? And of course, the answer is these are the only Indians to have won an IPL MVP award. And makes you wonder, like Harshal Patel being a part of that list. It was, of course, Sachin in 2010, Virat in 2016, Harshal in 2021, Shubman in 2023, and Sky, of course, in 2025, making the list. And quite a few of you got it right, but of course, only one lucky winner. And this time, the lucky winner is Summit. So, congratulations on getting it right, Summit. Do get in touch with us on X and we will do the needful. Prasad, apologies. My social media team did confirm that you got in touch with them, but we were late to respond. In case if you haven't gotten back to us, do get back in touch with us. We will have you on board for the next episode or sometime. You don't have to worry about it. So congratulations, Summit, of course, for this answer. Do get in touch with us on X and we will ensure that you are chatting with us next episode. Coming to this week's Howzzaat, WTC Final ka maul tha, so decided to have a question on those lines. At the end of the WTC Final at Lords, Steve Smith went past Sir Donald Bradman, Sir Gary Sobers, and Warren Barnsley to top a list, not below a list, which any below. What record are we talking about? So basically, this is the record that Steve Smith has now gone on top of. He's number one. Number two is Sir Gary Sobers. Sorry, number two is Warren Barnsley. Number three is Gary Sobers. And number four is Donald Bradman, or Sir Don Bradman. And Steve Smith went past each of these three players to go on top of a list. I want you guys to identify what list are we talking about or what record are we talking about. Like always, wait for the live stream to end. Do not enter your answers in the live chat over here. You're only going to help your fellow viewers. Wait for the live stream to end. Key in your answers in the main comment section. And you guys stand a chance to talk to us and we stand a chance to talk to you guys. So fingers crossed someone gets it right this time too.
I mean, interesting question that I actually wanted to ask you guys a question because I saw it somewhere after the WTC because Markram got a wicket and scored 100 at Lords. Who's the last player to do that? Do you guys know? Take a wicket. Take a wicket and score 100 at Lords. It's an Australian player and in our era played for Pune
Marnus.
Warriors. No.
Achha.
Pune Warriors.
Steve Smith.
No.
Okay, रुको भाई. Aaron Finch. नहीं भाई. Finch
No.
नहीं.
Thomas
Mitchell
Finch.
Marsh.
Lords में century. Lords में
Mitchell
century
Marsh.
बोला.
वही.
Former Australian captain, left arm spinner.
Michael Clark. Oh my God.
Clark. Easy one, not spotted.
Clark, it is. But yeah, shout out to Akshay for the question and shout out to Samit BK for getting that one right. I mean, it was a tricky one, but straightforward. And like Akshay said, it was an exhaustive list. So well done to you on that. Right. Time to, of course, end the show. But before we do so, always 12th man section. We had some brilliant questions coming through in the last 1 hour, 18 minutes. We're going to focus on them right now before we say goodbye. So let's roll on to the 12th man section. Right. Always good to see freaking awesome lend some stats. And this is not a question, but he's gone on to say this. India won 2 tests in Leeds. Last time we won there in 2002. In the WTC, England won 4 out of 4 at Leeds, including 2 games against Australia. Among those 4 games, England won 3 by fielding first at Leeds. I remember the 2002 game because it was honestly one of India's best wins away. Sachin got 100, Dravid got 100, Ganguly got 100, and it was just brilliant batting from India. They just batted England out of that game. Now, So Random has been asking this for a while, so we'll take it right now. Thank you for this question, and there's plenty more questions that we'll answer in the next 4 or 5 minutes or so. Hi, just an off-topic question. Why are IPL teams investing in so many cricket leagues like the MLC, which no one is watching, I'm guessing? South Africa, Dubai makes sense, but in US, no one watches cricket. So who wants to take this, boys?
I take this up. Firstly, in US, no one watches cricket. They are looking to expand. They are also targeting the diaspora. Don't worry, there are people watching it. And money is also not made just by viewership. There are advertising slots. There are different ways of generating revenue. Broadcasting rights have already been sold in advance. So teams are investing so much because they're making money off of it. Firstly, they're trying to build a brand, and also there are other ways. Not exactly. There are other ways that aren't exactly out in the open, that aren't entirely wrong or illegal. Just abhi isse zyada मेरे को बोलना नहीं है because it's not even my place to comment on such things. So again, the league does not make money just by viewership alone. So even in case there's not a lot of people in the US watching cricket. They're making money. You don't have to worry about it.
And this question relates to maybe the next question as well, and I'll give this one to Nix because I'm definitely thinking he watches a lot more cricket than me and Akshay combined. Guys, how many regional leagues are you watching? There are tons of streams on Hotstar. Nix, I'm not just talking about the main ones, but even this Maharashtra competition, the Vidarbha T20 League, every particular league, how do you kind of keep focus in it for someone right now tuning in and asking you this?
Firstly, you have to always prioritize. It's not physically possible to watch everything live. So I pick my own series, and then every day at the end, there is good thing that is Google Sheets, where you want to go to the. I did this for IPL as well. I've been doing this for IPL for so long now, where you write down summary of every game. But that happens for IPL. But for other leagues, what you go down and see, achha, who did well here, who did well there, what's the kind of score? Because you will always miss out. Remember that line from Bunny, from not Bunny, but to Bunny in Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, कि भाई कितना भी try कर ले Bunny कुछ ना कुछ तो miss करेगा ही तू. So you will trust on the people around you to give you that kind of information, which is why it's always good to have like-minded folks and also different folks around you so that they can give you information that, oh, one of the reasons why MNL is MNL because we give you updates from things that you may not be watching, but one of us may be watching, so they will give you those updates. So that is how you pick and choose, and may God never have a time when there is no cricket. Thank you. Only I know how I survived COVID, so please, thank you.
Yeah, I remember COVID was tough for all of us. I remember there was no sport, and then once I think the German football league started, everyone started watching it, even though they never followed Bundesliga in their life, which is insane. Santosh Chorpa saying Digvijay taking 5 wickets in 5 balls must be the best of the rest. Sorry, I forgot to cover that, but apparently I saw that somewhere in a local T20 league. Nix, you can probably expand on this.
No, but I only saw the highlights. The details में घुसना पड़ेगा, but yeah, सिर्फ notes बनाए, we'll have to watch. But it is so good, no? Now, and see, that is the fun. We had a question about nobody watching. This is regional cricket, but people are still watching because there are some names that are now common to people, and that is how you build a presence over a period of time. That after 10-15 years, a young guy, young girl will relate to a Darren Mitchell, they will relate to a Rajendra Ravindra, and they will be part of the people because of whom they followed a team. So it is always a long-term process, and yeah, that's the philosophical answer. Sorry.
Okay. Chetan had this earlier. I think Karuna should be used with number 3. Play Nitish Reddy to start off with your thoughts. Akshay?
He तो once
fair shout, यार. मतलब वही number 3 पे Karuna खेलेगा, and Nitish Reddy personally I wouldn't mind that, but I can understand where they're coming from if they even go in with Dhruv Jurel. It's but Chetan, this is very much possible too.
Santosh Chirapa had this one as well. India versus Sri Lanka, England versus South Africa, semi-final 2 and final of the Women's World Cup. Of course, the news was that we're going to be hosting another World Cup in the time of October and November. Hopefully, it's not an India-Australia final, and hopefully, it's not. I don't know who's going to be captaining Australia. Meg Lanning, is it?
Alisa Healy. Meg Lanning is not problem. Alisa Healy is the captain. And India is also there in Bangladesh.
Silence in Chinnaswamy, like Cummins, silence. That'll be sad, honestly. That'll honestly be sad. But I mean, imagine I want to go for England, South Africa, bro. I want to watch Lauren Bell. I mean, she'll play, will she?
She will. In all likelihood, she will. But ये मतलब आपके वो क्या बोलते हैं, मतलब आपके आंसर सही है लेकिन स्टेप मेरे को लगता है गलत है, तो इसीलिए तो आपको स्टेप मार्क्स नहीं मिलने वाले, सिर्फ फाइनल आंसर का मिलेगा बस.
But yeah, at the top of the show, Viva Amaran saying, Avnish from Japan. Yes, from Japan, taking a little breather after the IPL. Absolutely soaked in all the sights, sounds, and smells, and there's more to come. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, Hegde Every Day. That's something which will definitely captivate you. And Avnish, how was the moments with ABD? Should have been a surreal experience, but describe it. I mean, first and foremost, I think I had to pinch myself during the interview that, oh my God, I'm sitting next to an alien. I mean, literally, it was just gobsmacking. I was just soaking everything in. I've done my meticulous notes. And at that point in time, I was thinking, shit, this 33 minutes felt like 5 minutes. And I wanted to ask him so many more things. It's insane. Apparently, now, look, I don't want to say this, but I'll say it anyway. The Delhi Capitals team want to get in touch with me because I put AB under the bus for like that poisonous cancerous quote. But it's not what I, of course, put in his mouth. He said it. The man said it himself. And if there were poisonous characters at that point in time in the Delhi Daredevils team, it was what it was. But there's more interesting interviews coming through. I can promise you that. Now, I don't want to give you any indications of who's next, but that is another big one that I might have fetched with regards to cricket.com. He's a cricketer, just retired, has played a lot of tests for India. Virat will come through at some point in time, but I'm talking about maybe a chance of Ravichandran Ashwin on cricket.com very soon. I bumped into his mother last year in Hyderabad, and I did remind her not too long ago saying, look, I mean, if your son does have some time now, the sun is kind of shown on his career, it would be lovely to just have a sit-down conversation with him in Chennai. So if we can get that, it'll be great. We also might do a little collab with Stuart Broad because he's come up with a new podcast, and we might go down the Michael Vaughan, Adam Gilchrist route where we did one collab with Club Perry Fire. So lots more coming on cricket.com. I can rest assure you on that.
And just,
Go
yes,
on.
please take a breather. And I'll just take this time to genuinely appreciate. Please show some love to Avnish and like the video, because what you see this guy doing day in, day out, it takes heartfelt. He's always positive, joyous, building us up. But he's the man who's living his dream, but he's worked hard for it. So kudos to Avnish. Excellent professional work. And thank you so much for giving all of us this chance and always building us up while always doing the best and the hardest work behind the camera and behind the scenes. So thank you so much, Avnish.
Thank you, Nix. It comes honestly as a very heartwarming moment for me as well when I was doing that AB thing, because when I cast my mind back, my first ever interview as a journalist was Rahul Dravid, a 3-minute piece to a news channel back in the day, and then how time has flown by. But who knows? Interesting things to happen.
You worked hard for it.
Worked very hard for it, and essentially everyone takes the piss, but honestly there's a lot which goes on, and to get AB de Villiers for honestly free, lots of channels can reach out to him. He made me a few things off camera also, where he said to me saying, dude, not many people have made me kind of smile that much in an interview. I didn't fall asleep, so I just took it in my stride. So again, not going to praise myself too much because I don't like that. Avnish from from Japan. You've missed the P there, and the G is definitely not going to sit well with me. And how's Japan, Avnish? Great, man. If you guys haven't really checked out this country, go check it out. It is fantastic. I mean, just to give you a little story, it was the other day in Kyoto, Akshay, where we were kind of just finding our way through, and thank God for ChatGPT, more on that soon. But a bus driver has literally walked out of his bus to explain a particular direction for me. People are so nice here. It just goes without saying. And if anyone's coming to this part of the world, go check it out. Shout out to Kyoto. It's probably one of the best cities I've ever been to. Right, we can go on and on and on, but right now I think I've been getting looks like my mom and sister are probably like the slip cotton saying, listen, are you done, mate? Because we need to absolutely pack and sleep and rest and recuperate before we move on in this glorious travels of ours. Look, Akshay, thank you so much for your time. Nikhil, as well as you. I hope to see Akshay before your travels to the UK, but essentially we will catch each other in office in 4 or 5 days' time, I'm guessing. So, by the way, office, same office? Have you got any update on that? If I speak, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yes. And Atreya Bhattacharya saying, Arigato gozaimasu, Avnish. Spot on, man. Even the chat knows more Japanese than me, innit? But yeah, thank you so much for all you guys tuning in, and love the responses from the AB video. Go smash it, hit a like on that, share it as much as possible. Remember, Akshay is also going to come out with a brand new women's podcast, because I'm surely thinking with the Women's World Cup fixtures being dropped, him and Nia will tuck into that pretty nicely later. Speaking of which, Nikhil and Akshay and Som will also be there sometime this week with the Bear Tuck Bits. And good to see about 400-500 of y'all watching. If you guys are watching on Twitter, jump on YouTube and smash a like there. It's a goodbye from me, but good to see all you guys, and stay safe. I know the world's happening and there's funny things happening right now, but it is what it is. We'll take life as they come. That's all we have. It's a goodbye from us, boys. Shaunat, you can play that end sting and put me to bed.